This site is so fucking bad. This is how it works. We have the tier list. All right. I'm going to put alerts on pause. And what I also have, say we start on assault scopes, right? I also have these. So we're talking about the Elkin. I can show the imagery for each of these. So we can actually you can actually see what I'm talking about for each one. Right, and then I say, okay, let's talk about the Leopold Mark IV hammer. And then we've got the hammer. You know what I mean? Sights of all things are a very personal preference. I'm gonna disclose this right now. Disclosure time. Disclaimer. All sites are a very personal preference. You probably won't agree with half of this, but this is my list. So write in the comments below if you agree or not. Like and subscribe. And disclaimer. Cool. Disclaimer done. Right, now, where do you want to start? Should we start with should we just go left to right? Or do you want to go... Let's go left to right. Oh, no, I want to go like... All right, so I suppose I should give it a layout view of what's going on here. So, if you see the teal color, that's 1x. The green color, that's the 2x. That one, and those ones. A yellow color is a 3x. Or a 3x plus. That could include 4x's too. Because I'm pretty sure an ACOG's like a 4x. Well, at least the ACOGs I used. And then the orange color is 6. We don't have any reds. Why is the red there? I've 8 times. Am I missing a red? And then 12x or more is these ones. All right. So let's start with far out. Let's start with compact size. I think that will be the easiest way to do it. Now, let me just quickly think. The PK06 is the staple sight. All right. You want to start bottom left, smallest to biggest. As I said, compact size. All right, we're doing compact. So you've got PK06, Romeo, DP, RMR, FF3, and the aim point. Right. They've made some changes to how you find some of these. Like the PK06 is only now found in raid. But besides that, it's pretty much I would almost argue it's the meta sight. Now, the problem with sights these days is, in my opinion, the amount of screen real estate is probably one of the biggest things that you can see. So I'll give you an example. Like, so a PK06, it's a very dark background. So these are the different reticles for it. But the PK06 doesn't take up a lot of screen real estate, right? Whereas, see this? Like, I don't like how much. This is the Sorg Sour Romeo, right? Sorg Sour Romeo 4, right? See how it takes up so much screen real estate? Like this, I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but to me, this kind of stuff is like brutal when trying to acquire sight on target, right? Same with like this. Like this shits me because it's like I have to try and find someone's head. So say someone's like head's here, unless you already have like knowledge that they're going to come around that specific corner. Your target acquisition time is greatly influenced. So like this is a lot cleaner, but then the sight is actually quite bad because I hate how blurry, because it's like the dot's not a clean dot. There's like, I don't know if I can zoom in. Here we go. See how there's like that glow around the edge? Shits me. It actually shits me. So out of all these sites, I would probably say Delta Point. Delta Point's probably my favorite after the PK06. Now, the other influence thing we need to really consider here is the fact that a PK06 cost at the moment like 50,000 rubles. Like, it's so expensive. It's so expensive, but it is like the meta of compact size. They're like 70k now, and worth it. You'll find them often enough that you don't have to pay for them that much. You'll kill someone and they'll have the sight on them. If you're doing a candid sight, so say you've got the I can't remember the name of it at the moment, but if you've got the candid sight on as well, Pico 6 on that is very clean and it's just really nice. Of these other ones though, I don't really use a lot of them, to be honest. Probably the Delta Point, maybe the RMR is probably the ones I would use more than anything else. Oh shit, what the fuck? Ripped a key out of my keyboard. I would probably put the aim point as the worst sight on this list. I would honestly I hate it. Yeah, there's a gun that you get the aim point with. Is it the MPX on labs? Oh, the Val as well. It's so bad. It's so bad when you have it on that. The Delta Point, I would actually put probably as S tier as well. It goes on top of, I want to say either the Elkin. No. Which one's the Delta Point go on top? There's the hammer. It goes on top of the hammer. And is it the ACOG you can put it on top? Or is that the Voodoo? Bravo? What's the sight you can put on top of the ACOG? Is it the F? No, it's the RMR. RMR goes on top of the ACOG. So this is the RMR here. So you can put the RMR on top of the ACOG. So I'd probably put that up there pretty high as well. And then aim point trash. Pico 6 strong. And this is probably the one issue I have with this sight is the glow around the dot. And that's why I pretty much don't use it, because I feel like I can't get a clean picture. So pretty trash. It's like middle tier. Delta Point is good. Pico 6 is great. I don't like this one at all. And then RMR's strong as well. So I'd probably put in this order. So I'd go RMR is probably sitting about here. And Romeo is probably about here. And this is the Burris, right? I'd probably put this about here too. Maybe here. Let me have a look. These are out of all the sites, these are the ones I'd probably use the least. Because I just use Pico 6 so much. Yeah. It's pretty strong. Oh, it's got the blur though. It's got the blur. So I'd probably, the blur fucking shits me. That's probably where I sit. Yep. If it wasn't for the blur, if it was a clean dot, I would use that more. And just to make it tidy, I'm going to put that there. Delta Point. Because I would use the PKO 6 over the Delta Point every time. That's pretty much... And that would go there, actually. No, fuck it. They're both trash. I would never use them. I would never actually want to use them. I would almost rather use iron sights than those sights. And I'm not even joking with that. And I'll just explain exactly why if I haven't... The fuck? The key keeps coming off my keyboard. The exact reason is this. Look how much screen real estate. It's so hard to be able to get a sight picture onto a target. I'd rather have an iron sight. It's just so much cleaner. And then same with this one here. I would honestly rather use an iron sight. Right. So I hope we can agree with this. Micro my ass. Right. Reflex lights. Now this is where I spend a lot more of my time. We will talk about more in detail. This is where it's going to get. I think people are not going to agree with me a lot on this stuff. Now, if you were talking to me back in like 0.4 to 0.9 days, I would put MRS as S tier. I'm not even joking. I would have had MRS as S tier back in like 0.4 to 0.9. But I don't know why this site went bad. I don't know how it happened. I don't know what went wrong with it. But for some reason, it's literally what Lawrence is saying. It's floaty. It feels like it's just all over the shop. And because of that, I really can't, like, it's a site that I'd like to use more, but it really has to sit down here. And I wish I had a video for it. I don't actually have any videos for it. But like, you'll look at the MRS site and I would say it's one of the cleanest sites in the game. Like the screen real estate is like nil. It's so easy to see with it. It's really good. But when you're using it, it just feels like it's all over the shop. It's borderline unusable. I don't know. I generally like the site a lot. And I used to love it. So if you do get an opportunity to use one, give it a go. See if you like it. But for some reason, it just feels floaty. Even the tier 1 micro doesn't use it. Would you say it's unusable? Like, I don't use it a lot anymore. But would you say it's unusable? Because if it is unusable, then it should be off the charts. MRS is your budget PK now. That shouldn't be what you should use. All right, you're going to learn today, Cold. All right, maybe I should put this down lower. It used to be great. For memory sakes alone, I'm going to put it back. I'm going to put it an A or a D. I'll put it a D just because it used to be really good, but I do honestly agree that it's just gone to trash. Now, I know I'm not doing these in order because I'm doing them how I feel like it. Right. I know you guys aren't going to agree with, potentially you won't agree with this, but you honestly should make this your new meta site. This should be your meta site now. I'm not even joking. You should have this with the shroud on it every time. I've been arguing this for such a long time, and people for some reason still haven't caught on as much. I know there's like a lot of people starting to agree more and more with this. It's very clean, really easy to use. You get it at low level, and it's super cheap. I think 10k for the site, and then the shroud on top of it's like another 500 rubles. It's like maybe 10.5 to 11k. The dot is invisible. Switch it to the triangle. Switch it to the triangle. Practice it a little bit, and you'll never have an issue again. Give me 1 sec. I'll bring it up. I think it's this one. Oh no, that's wait a sec. It is the EKP8, but it's on. It's not the dovetail one. I'm looking for the non-dove. Yeah, here it is. So it's the non-dovetail one. So this is the sort I use. I use it with the shroud at the back. Because the psych is like -2 ergo, but when you put the shroud on it, it evens out the ergo back to 0 or some shit. Honestly, I use this all the time. So that's with the dovetail. This is my go-to now. It's +1. Yeah, there you go. Its screen real estate is minimal, and it's super easy to use, and it's so cheap. And it gives one ergonomics. It gives ergonomics, having a sight on. So I know not everyone's going to agree, but I love it. Like, if you had to compare that to that, I use it with this triangle. And if you get used to it, you won't miss. The base is way big. You don't need to worry about the base. Like I said, you don't have to agree. Now, the Reflex site, I use this a lot on my PP19s. And for that sake, I'm putting it right here too, because you could put the shroud onto it. But the reason why it's not up at the top is because you can't put it on every gun. That's really the only reason. It's the difference. Now, out of the rest of these, there's only a couple that I really like. You know, to be honest, I'd actually put... No, I'll leave it there. Now, the next one I love using, and I said this is like... go back to the disclaimer right here. The one I love using is the OKP7. You put this one on a Val. And it's not... wait. There's two types. Not the nipple one. Where the fuck's the other one? Hang on. The dovetail OKP7. Here we go. It's this one. This one is really good to use. Val on your AKs. You can put it on a PP19. It's just a really clean and easy to use sight. You shouldn't have any issues with this using this one, and it's fairly cheap. So yeah, you try that straight on an ASVL or a PP19 or an AKMN. You don't have to worry about anything else. Just go straight on. I would use the OKP7 over the EKP if I had the choice. For the times you have to use the dovetail. -7 ergo, mate. It's worth the ergo. It's worth the ergo. Right. The nipple sight, right? The only way you can use the nipple sight, this one right here, right, is on a shotgun. Because you don't even need to see the target with the shotgun. You kind of just shoot in that area anyway. But besides that, it's absolute trash. You just go, it'll do. Over here will do. Because if you try and line up a headshot on that, it's so fucking rough. Use 8.5mm buckshot with the nipple sight, and that's probably the only time you're ever going to use that. Just use irons, pretty much. Now, which one is the Holosun's got the laser on it? The laser used to be invisible, and when it was invisible, it was my meta. It was my meta sight. The reason why the Holosun's not good now is it goes back to the same as before. It's that screen real estate. Oh, fuck! Like, look how much real estate it's taken up. From a hip fire perspective, it's great, but like from actual trying to put a fucking headshot on someone, you're not good. You're not good. Like, when you look at that compared to that, it's like, wow. So the only reason why the Holosun is going to go here is the fact that it's got the laser attached. And so if you had to, I don't know, if you wanted to have like a laser on it and use it in like close quarters, you might have some fun and luck with it. But honestly, I can't. It used to be really good. I just can't. Actually, to be honest, I would use it over an MRS. Fuck. Or would I use it over an MRS? I'd put it on the same as MRS. It's kind of like, it sits there and they're like, yeah. All right. I don't know why we have all the EOTechs here, because they're all pretty much exactly the same. For some reason, I don't mind the EOTechs. And like I said, this is a lot of personal preference. Except for this one. That can go fucking suck a dick. So the EOTechs... So that's the 553. That's the EPS. XPS, sorry. They just seem to be really clean using them. The EOTechs. What's the XPS 3-2? So this is the 3. And this is 3-2. Oh, it's just 2 dots. You get 2 dots instead of 1. Wow. Double the fucking aiming. I didn't even know that. Learn something every day. These seem to work really well for me. Like, I don't seem to have many issues with it. It doesn't take up too much screen real estate, and you can find them pretty often. So, the only other one was the 553, which is this one. Oop. I feel like it's interesting. Yeah, I would put these around the B tier. I'd probably put all 3 of them on the B tier. It really comes down to how you want it looking. Now the Weaver, I seem to use the Weaver a lot, even though I don't understand why. And to give you perspective on what the Weaver's like, we fired it. All right, this is the Weaver. It feels floaty for some reason. And I can't seem to figure out why I use it as much as I do. I think it used to be decent, but now it's kind of like, I don't know. It doesn't take up much screen real estate, but what happens is a lot of people like this dot here, I believe, because like this takes up too much room. You need to be able to see what the point you're hitting, and I usually use just the dot. But to be honest, it feels floaty, and it's not a bad. I'd use this over the MRS at the moment. So I'm gonna put this at C, but like honestly, it's. I think I don't know if this is like a gameism, but like I can't imagine it being bad in real life. Like I can't imagine the reticle on this site being like crazy bad compared to like a PK06 in real life. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's actually buggy in the game and not like that in real life. Otherwise, in real life, it would just be like, I don't know. You're bugging, mate? Oh, that's sad. That's unfortunate, bro. There was tests that a lot of sites don't shoot accurate when moving. Yeah. PO6 IRL is trash. Really? I'll talk about other sites from real life. Like, if you could use these sites in real life, sorry, in Tarkov, like in real life, you would use them a lot in Tarkov. Because like, in Tarkov, it's like, you either have super zoomed in or super duper zoomed in. And there's no like gradual zoom. Like, a lot of these in real life have a gradual zoom. Like you'd slide it, you'd turn it, and you like zoom in more and more and more. And you could actually use these and get target acquisition on sniping really well, and then zoom in onto your target. But in Tarkov, it's like, I can't see shit. I'm seeing the pixel of their toe. All right. Out of the rest of these ones, I pretty much, I don't have a great affiliation with this one. I don't really think much of it. I'll probably put it about C tier. Is probably because I don't really use it too much. It takes a lot of screen real estate, but it's not that bad a site. I've never used this in Tarkov ever. Does this even exist? Has anyone actually seen this site in real life? In Tarkov, I mean? Killer has it? Oh, so this is the one that's on the RPK. That's why I never see it. I don't even know where to put this. I'll just put it in the C. A lot of people saying it's trash, and other people saying E tier. All right, let's put it at E tier. You guys seem to think it's E tier. E or D? People can't seem to decide. The UH1. I honestly, I tried to fall in love with this site, but it just didn't work for me. Wow, see, this is how cool it is. How many of you guys are saying it's amazing, and then other people saying it's trash. I don't think it's a bad site. I just couldn't fall in love with it. Like I couldn't find it as a site that I would use a lot. And lastly, but not least, I need to find the fucking thing so you guys can see it. This one's trash. I hate this one. Pretty confident to say I'm putting this on F tier. Right, that's all the reflexes done. That's probably the harder part. Oh, wait. There's this one. This site is so fucking bad. Okay, all right. Story behind this one. So, in this one has so many issues. When you're using it in this view, it zooms in, right? So it's actually like a really like zoomed in like 1x, which is like, it's a bit weird because it's not realistic. Like you don't just like, your eyes don't zoom in that much. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I'm going to look through my sight now. Like, and then, because of that, it fucks with your sensitivity a lot. I feel like when this is zoomed in, you're like all over the shop. And then on top of that, one of my mods absolutely loves it. And I absolutely fucking hate it. So, oh, and then this thing, I used to use this all the time. The one time I actually used this a lot was with the M700. So you chuck this on top of an M700 and you can go around and you can pretty much like go close quarters, long range, M700. And it worked really well for that. And I used to use it all the time, but I don't like it. That's the only gun I can say you can use it with is the M700. All right. If you don't like it there, I don't care. It's where it's staying. All right. Let's go with the assault scopes now. I can pretty much do these without looking at them, and then I'll make a decision from there. Fuck. All right. I'm gonna go. We'll talk about it after I place them. I know this is going to cause controversy. I'd probably put it something like this. You guys honestly think ACOG should be F tier? I haven't used it in a while, but I never really had any issues with it. ACOG's terrible in game, even with the RMR capability. No, you guys have obviously used it a lot more than me. ACOG does not translate well in the game. If I was Trigicon, I'd be pissed. And you guys are very convinced that this should be here. All right, I'll speak about my reasoning now. Monstroms B. I don't get along well with the Monstrum. All right, I'll quickly show you the Monstrum. This is a very personal preference thing. I seem to really fuck my shots up when I use this sight. Every time I use this sight, it has zoom, obviously. I seem to fuck my shots. It's like, I think this is one of those sights that if you use it a lot, you'd be really, really good at it. But until you use it a lot, if you're just like, oh, I just picked up this sight, it's like rough. It's also quite difficult. What map do you use this on? Tell me what map do you use this sight on? So I could agree with customs. That's probably the only map that I could say that this sight would be useful for. Because it doesn't work well for a long range sight, and it's not good for a really close range. This is really used for like 50 meters, this sight. Anything under 50 meters, I'd rather be using a Pico 6. Anything over 50, anything over like 100, I'd rather use every other sight pretty much every other sight in the game. Best off hip firing under 50. I agree. It's a great dorm site. Yeah, I could agree with that. All right. So after the discussion, I know that I'm going to put it here because I know a lot of people seem to... It's a love-hate relationship with a lot of people. All right. Yeah, the prison probably is F tier as well, but I'll show you the prison. Actually, the thing I dislike about is this part here. Like, this actually shits me more. But the actual site itself isn't that bad. But the fact that I lose half my screen to this site kind of shits me. But the actual site itself isn't bad. Rather use the monstrum. I've got it on E tier. Like, it's not like it's far off. I'm actually really interested in seeing... Alright, this ACOG is bad. Where's the other ACOG? This one's not as bad. This is the one I'm used to using in real life. I'm pretty sure it's this one. Yeah, mine was slightly different reticle. It's very similar to this in real life. It's the one I used. Was there something else on it? Like, there was like lines out this way too, Cold. Did you have the same? This is so hard to get a headshot with. Your triangle is hollow in the middle. In Tarkov, this one's really hard to get a headshot in. It's more of a V. Yeah, I feel like the same. Whereas this one's a very clean reticle. Like, I feel like being able to get a headshot with this one would be like 10 times easier than this one. But I still feel like I can't use either of them. There's no... I would not use these ones over... like fucking even the Alkin, right? I'd rather this... or this. Hammer's so clean to use. And then, like, Validate's good to go. Validate's where it's at. There's a reason. This is why Validate's S tier. Look how clean that is. And you don't, and it's literally just alt right click. No screen real estate taken up. It takes up minimal of the right hand side of your screen. Like, so much screen real estate. Shit reticle. More screen real estate. And this is the Bravo. You guys seem to really like the Bravo. I had Bravo here, and you guys said it's definitely an A tier. I'm putting it here. Just so anyone who needs more information on the Alkin. Alkin's got the fuck's sakes. It's got the iron sight. And you can switch between these two, like the Valde. And it works pretty well. It's clean side picture as well. And then it doesn't take up much to the right hand side. If anything, I dislike this part of the Alkin, but it works. It works. You know what I mean? So yeah. No, I'm happy with that. That's probably where I would put everything. I know you guys, this is probably the more controversial one. Some people really love it. Some people hate it. Right. As for these ones, this is where it's going to get fucking... Let me just think for a sec. Which is the Burris Tactical? Oh, this one. It works. It's nowhere near as good as the Voodoo, though. I remember which one it is now. I'd put it there. It's as a scope, it works all right. How come no one ever uses this one anymore? The toggle's broken. NPZ worst scope ever. NPZ, yeah. Okay, let's go through these. Let me bring this back up. All right, so starting, this is the Burris. I put this one at A because it works quite well. It does its job. You could use it at close range. It's kind of like a budget Velde, right? These sights are unusable, legitimately unusable. You cannot use them, right? You should be able to go like this. With these kind of sights, like the Hensoldt and all the other like really long range ones, you need to be able to adjust them like a zoom, not it goes click click, like it shouldn't be like on off almost. It should be a zoom. So unusable. Like honestly, you can't use them for any other thing. Variable, yeah. The KMZ, I want to play around with this one. I think I put this one at B tier. This one's something I think I could play around with because it does look like it's kind of like a Velde. It kind of has that not so zoomed and then zoomed. So I think we can make that one work. Leopold, trash. You can't use this one. It's like, look at it. Like that's the zoom. And I'm pretty sure you can do another zoom, but it's like we're on top of Sniper Rock looking at the wood lumber mill. You need to be able to zoom out for that and then be able to zoom back in. I am confident this is not a fixed zoom. Add a control scroll function for variable zoom. Why so hard? Like, all right, this one, I don't know what to think of this one. This one's just got added recently. I've used it a bit. When you're in this view, you can like move around like really fast. It's kind of weird. But if you put it on like an M700, it actually can work quite well. It's actually a bit of fun to use. It's not F tier, guys. Like you can actually use this. I put it at C. Play around with it. You might have some fun. It's not completely trash. Like you can actually use this sight. It's not accurate. Really? I've actually had some fun with it. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's like, I don't recommend people to be using this sight and being like, yeah, this is the go-to. It's not accurate at all. Really? I have to play around with it. All right. Because you guys seem to think it's not accurate at all, I'll move it down to the D. All right. Night Force. Impossible to use. Impossible to use. You should be able to zoom out with a variable zoom. Like it shouldn't be like, all right, I'm now looking at their fucking pinky from like a kilometer away. It's not trash. It's trash. Do we even want to talk about this? This sight is F tier. Straight up F tier. You can't use it. It's so hard to use. This is a Mark Tactical. This is the one where you got to get the kill with on Sturman. Go to this spot right here. 0 to 250. Right? I very rarely say 0 to 250, but look at that pole of wood right there. Sturman will be sitting next to it, 0 to 250, and then just zoom in and just click his head. You actually get a really close zoom in kill on him. So it's actually kind of cool to see. With an M700 using M62 ammo. All right, I've just given you the answers to the math problem. PSO, I love this site. PSO is a really good budget site. If you want to chuck it on AKMN, go to... If you're on Punisher Part 1 for the Practice quest line, chuck a PSO on, it's good to go. The reason why I don't have this as S tier is it's really fucking frustrating trying to use at close range. All right, so that's what I put it on B. I think it does sit there. And if you get in a close range battle, it's like really, really frustrating to use. Whereas like a voodoo, you can get away with. And this is the PU in it. Yeah, PU for the Mosin. So if you kill a guy with a Mosin that's on it, you can use it. It's not a really easy sight to use at range. It takes, because you try and do the if you don't zero this, right, and say there's a guy right here, like you would actually have to aim here to hit him. And so that I don't like the fact that you can't actually see the target. You just got to aim above, and you might see it. They might move in the time it takes you to do that shot. And that's why the PU I've got as well as at the B. The pillar, this is the one that you get on the VPOs all the time. This one's really frustrating to use. I put this, where did I put it? Like D? Yeah, I put it at D. It's not impossible to use. It's just, it goes back to where the PSO sits. It's really hard to use at close range, but it's not good, but it's usable at least. So it's not an F. The F tiers are not usable. So I'm happy to put it here because it feels like a lot of you guys want it to be F. But it's usable. These aren't usable. The FP said below F. Nah. Oh, nah. It is pretty bad. All right. For you guys, it's happy. Why is this one different size, duties? Right. And this is the voodoo. The voodoo is godly. Voodoo, you can use close range, long range, and doesn't take up much screen real estate. Fucking beautiful. It's beautiful. And that's why the voodoo sits on the S tier. I love it. I love it. I love it. S tier plus. Oh. You reckon? I look, it's up there as my favorite sight in the game. Not gonna lie. Duties doesn't know how to spell. All right, Duties. Nice spelling. Look at him. Look what you did to him. He tried. Chat, you've destroyed him. English is like his third language. I think it's actually his fifth, but don't pick on him. All right. Where was I? So you want the voodoo to be S plus? Because I could do that. I feel like that would work. It's my favorite site. I think it's the best site in the game for anything out over 1x. Nah, S is fine. S is fine. All right. Before we go to the special sites, we're going to take this moment to do a commercial break. Good night, guys. I got to do it for the Twitch contract. Enjoy. I'll just read out some subs while that's happening. All right. Enable the subs again. Thanks, dude. Thanks for 15 months. How long ago was that? Wow. Roman Empire 3401. Thanks for the 15 months. Master Tronka, thanks for the 4 months. Michael the Hero, thanks for the Prime. Who Streams, thanks for the 9 months. Happy birthday to our sub baby. Thanks for all the great content. Thanks, mate. The One Trauma, thanks for the 9 months. Tati Cat, thanks for 700 bits. I read today that some sites act differently on other guns depending on your FOV. MRS is terrible, but not in the HK with 59 FOV. Interesting. Mr. Garrett Adams, thanks for the 4 months. John TC 1990, thanks for the prime. Zitwitchy, thanks for the 800 bits. Yo, Pez, could you give your quick thoughts on Iron Sights? Since I assume it's too small a category for a tier list. I don't really use Iron Sights much. If I use an Iron Sight, what the ones that pop up to my mind are SKS. SKS good to go. It just takes practice. Oh, 5.7 Iron Sights. Be delicious. 5.7 Iron Sights are beautiful. SKS is the worst Iron Sight. I believe it. All right. Let me get through this. Lime. Thanks for 2 months. Pyrometheus, thanks for 2 months. Rich Nasty, thanks for 3 months. Can you talk about which ones are good with MVGs also? Monstrum works good with MVG. All the compact, the majority of the compact sites work well. Stay away from stuff like the EOTechs. EOTechs are bad with MVGs. Yep. Junior Zone, thanks 100 bits. New Tarkov challenge, you're only allowed to use F and E tier items. Yeah. I'd probably change the whole system if that was the case. Yeah, man, thanks for 2 months. Nice tier list so far, learning about the game every day. Awesome, dude. Yo T22, thanks for 6 months. Cyclone, thanks for the 11 months. Gross Giant, thanks for the 2 months. Well, 2 months already. Thanks, Dad. All the advice. Pick up Tarkov at the beginning of the wipe and video streams helped me so much. I'm glad, dude. Batty's only 14. Thanks for 2 months. Burgerlicious 16, thanks to the tier 1. Won the Run, thanks to the prime. Nephilims, thanks to the 6 months. Iron Price, thanks to the prime. McNippy, thanks to the tier 1. Adina 9485, thanks to 8 months. And Burgerlicious, thanks to the 5 gifted subs. All right, I'll let them continue on in a sec. All right. Special sites. I wish there was a tier below F tier minus. I really do wish there was a tier below F tier minus. All right, I need to show you this site. And you tell me. So, has anyone used the, what's the Australian Army night vision site? I can't even remember the name of it. This is the NPSU, right? This is like a 4X, if I believe so, if I remember rightly. It's a 4X. It is impossible to use. I don't think I've ever killed anyone with this. Ever. Not that I've used it much. But I'm fairly confident I've never killed someone with this. New hardcore challenge. We've got to find... Oh, no, I found one actually already. So this site is... Like, it's I suppose that it isn't down here because I actually think that it's actually it probably is usable in the right situation. No, fuck it, it's gone there. All right, Vulcan. This is that's with the PKO 6 on the top of it. I didn't know you could put a PKO 6 on the top of it. Honestly, the Vulcan isn't bad at all. But you can't use night vision like that in Tarkov. Like, what situation in Tarkov would you not use night vision and a PK06 instead of having this with a PK06 on top? It's an advanced PK06 mount. Cultist hunting? Because money? Like, you just want to waste money? Extract camping? It's unusable. Guys, it's honestly unusable. You can ult him with it. What? Oh, so you can wear an Alton and have night vision. All right. You've put in one valid reasoning. But what situation do we wear an Alton and use this sight and go kill people? Like, seriously, factory, reserve, nighttime factory. What, you can't? But see, why wouldn't you just go, okay. So you're not going to be running around with this sight in nighttime factory trying to kill people. So why wouldn't you just go in naked with this fucking gun and sight and just lay somewhere instead of risking another 150k on an Alton? Like, if you're exfil camping, why wouldn't you just go in with this and no armor? Reserve bunker camping? I don't see why you'd use an Alton though. Like, you could use this in reserve bunker. Perfect. Yeah, I agree. You just wear cheap armor though and a cheap helmet. Look, you've put in valid reasons to make it here. I'll give you this. All right? That's as much as I'm giving you. All right. But honestly, it's borderline F tier for me. It's at least C tier, maybe in your tier list, bro. It's staying in E. All right. The last two. The God honest truth about these two sites. If you use this correctly, you should not die. If you use this correctly, you should not die. And I think, honestly, this is probably here. Because the Reaper, if you use that correctly, it's fucking incredible. Low refresh rate, bro. Low refresh rate, though. Don't have to worry about it. They're already dead before you have to worry about refresh rates, mate. Fleur has zoom, case closed. It's just not as easy to use as a Reaper. You don't need zoom with a Reaper. You just kill them. M1A and a Reaper, GG. I agree. Alright. This is the Fleur. That's the 9x. So that's Sniper Scav on Shoreline, right? That's like 9x, 2.25x. And that's how far he's looking away from. Like, it's very situational, but this could work really well. I use it in reserve a lot. Nighttime reserve, go up on the hill, and you just stay up there. And then this is the Reaper. It's so easy to use a Reaper. You literally, I leave it on, leave it on white hot, and I move to a spot, stop, scan around, move to the next spot, stop, scan around, and you shouldn't die with it. You honestly, you have to get caught out pretty unlucky to die with it. Thoughts on the stim that lower your body heat? Have to wait and see. So much stamina on the Reaper. If you've got max level endurance, it's not really an issue. Night vision goggles aren't really sought, so. I heard a really, really valid point, by the way. I'm gonna tell you this right now. And it kind of blew my mind a little bit. We'll finish with this. Why bother spending 300,000 to 400,000 rubles going to labs with a very high chance that you're going to die to someone with shroud socks on, when you can spend a couple 100,000 rubles more and buy a Reaper and go to any map and own? It's so fucking true. Reaper is a millions. It's not anymore. And literally, if you've got a Bitcoin farm going at the moment, you could literally get a Reaper. You get a Reaper every Bitcoin. We'll leave it at that. Hopefully you guys enjoy this tier list. Obviously, it's my personal preferences on a lot of this stuff, but I try my best to give you as much information as possible. So just enjoy and learn parts of Escape from Tarkov. Next week we have a really, really, really cool tier list for you. I'll announce it now because I know what's going ahead. We're doing the scav bosses and scabs and raiders, and the package we're putting together for you is going to be the most entertaining tier list you'll ever see in your life. We're trying to make it as enjoyable for you guys as possible. So next week should be a really fun tier list. I don't want to give too much away, but we're making videos. All right, we're making videos for that tier list. All right, so we're stepping up our game. But as for this one, if you are watching on the YouTubes, thanks very much for watching. Please take the time to comment what you like, dislike about it. For the YouTube algorithm, I'll try my best to read some of the comments. I got around to reading a lot of last week's. On top of that, consider subscribing, notification bell. I keep up to date for all the latest content. I stream this live on Twitch every Tuesday, either my time or your time Tuesday. I don't know which one it is sometimes. And yeah, lastly, see you next time.